Atlanta reminds me of Miami last year.
Yeah.
They're a great team. You want to watch them win. You like to see them play, but you just know that there's only go so far they're going to go. Like, at the end of the day, like, the odds are stacked against them, and we all love an underdog story, but they're just not built. Like they're still missing a piece or two to take that full. Like, okay, so like Philly, I'm at the point now with Philly, I'm on the verge of saying pretty much, if they don't do it this year, then I'm done with the process. Their process talk is over. I don't want to hear it no more. Like they just can't. To me, if they can't get it done this year, maybe next year I give them. If they can't, they need to break up, and restructure how they want to do it. Atlanta has like, they gain a nice piece or two. They could be something, like they could really, keep what they got, gain a piece or two, and they could be like, Trae Young is developing really well in the NBA. He's developing. He's learning the little nuances of what it takes to win. And when you got a player that does that, that's key. You just keep giving him talent around him, and they can start making things happen. Atlanta, in the long run, I could see that. Not this year though.
Philly, they got a lot to prove, like you said. I feel like they got a lot to prove. I feel like Doc Rivers got a lot to prove because what happened, last year with them Clippers. So he's standing on his own soapbox at this point because I'm feeling like if Philly don't even make it to the finals and they have a repeat of 2020 bubble, I think Doc Rivers might need to go do some sports casting and sit in a chair on Inside the NBA. I don't know because he gonna have to blot out because this you can't just keep blaming the team every time. Like the coach gotta take some
Doc
heat
back. Is another conversation. As far as his career, I think he should keep playing. I think he needs to settle down somewhere. He needs to really, Doc Rivers needs to get to the point where he can, you want to see a black coach do well. You don't get a lot of black coaches. I feel like guys like Mark Jackson have been slighted. So, Doc Rivers is like, you want to keep him in there, but, not to the point where it's hurting, is not helping, I don't blame last year's Clippers situation on him. I don't even really blame this year on him, but to a point, he has to start taking accountability for his coaching decisions. Because at the end of the day, he has a name to himself, a brand, and he's just not really living up to that brand. I mean, his really best time is when he had a big three to really do it. So if that's the case, then I could see if he's like a guy that's always in the finals or always in the Eastern Conference or Western Conference, like he's always in the big fight and he doesn't get it. And you can say, listen, he's built to the caliber. It's just that's how the game goes. Everybody can't win it.
That's what I'm saying. He's kind of teetering on that, like get into that aspect. But you have to look at it as a whole. That is. But I don't know. I mean, who do you really feel like? Do you feel like the Hawks can overpower the Sixers, or you think like the Hawks is kind of one and done, like the next two games?
I'll say this. If Philly lets it go to a game 7, Philadelphia better be worried.
To switch over to Brooklyn, right? Brooklyn doesn't play defense. Let's just face facts.
They don't.
And that's what happened to them with the Bucks in the last game. The Bucks was like, look, we can't beat your big three. We just can't we're not trying to outscore y'all, but we're gonna have to play defense. We gotta go back to the standard of defense wins championships, right? So they can't outscore them because the last game was 83-86.
Yeah.
You gotta defend them because what you gonna do scoring wise? Like you can't outscore them. I wouldn't even try.
I give Milwaukee the next game. I'm a guy that's all my life, sports and defense is my number one mantra. Like, I love the defensive teams. I'm a defensive guy. Like, when I play sports, I like to play defense, football is a defensive guy, but what these guys are doing is almost unfair. It's like, with Brooklyn, and I'm sorry, no team in the last 20 years has had 3 guys at this level in their prime.
No,
not even the Miami Heat. Not even the Miami Heat when it was LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. No.
Not even the Celtics when they had Ray Allen, which was the 3-point king. Like,
exactly.
So I agree with that for sure.
So it's so unfair, you know. And at first I laughed. I'm going to be honest. I was like, yo, this team is going to implode. You know, they got Kyrie Irving. That's all you need to know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Kyrie, Kevin Durant. I'm like, them two together was just hilarious. And then when they went and got James Harden, at the time, James Harden was like 30 pounds overweight. And I'm just like, are you guys serious? Like, I don't even know what's going on right now. You know, but I knew James Harden would get back in shape, but I'm like, this team, they don't have the mental grit to do it. Like, you know, but maybe James Harden has the hunger. You know, I really, everybody likes to tell you, like, you watch like sports contests, they always talk about, you know, KD. KD is a unicorn. You know, he's a guy, you give him the ball, he's going to get you his numbers. You know, you're not changing that about KD.
You're not.
But he's not a leader, you know.
I mean, he's also 7 foot with a 7 foot wingspan. So again, I gotta say, I'm gonna give you the ball. Like that just makes sense. Like I'm sorry,
he's a unicorn.
I don't even want to shoot. I'm gonna just here you go. And if you get double teamed, then I'll go for it. But I'm gonna give you the ball at the end of the day. If you look at it, neither one of them at the end of the games when it is 3 of them playing want to do interviews. They only talking to James Harden.
Pretty much. I mean, he's the team leader to me.
And Kevin Durant, the last one, he barely even wanted to do it. And it was in a loss. So I'm right. The only time now you got to talk to somebody is when you lose it. But just you know, if the Bucks can play defense and keep them, come on. When's the last time you kept Brooklyn scoring under 100?
I mean, but be honest, that's not going to happen.
I mean, you got Giannis out here with 20 rebounds.
So are you saying that for 3 more games, Milwaukee is going to be able to keep Brooklyn under not only 100, but maybe even 90?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm definitely not saying they're going to do it. I'm saying that's the key to doing it. The key to doing it is to continue to play defense. Because if you go in with the mindset that you're going to outscore this team, you are guaranteed you're going to lose. You don't know how happy I was when Paul George did not go to the Lakers. I was like, thank you. Everybody was upset. Everybody wanted to shed their little tears. I was like, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate you go to Compton. Let Beverly Hills stay over here and you go to Compton. That's how I felt. But
I mean, Pandemic P. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, he's Pandemic P. I mean, I like Paul George. I respect Paul George. He's just not a number one. And he needs to follow behind the leader. Kawhi Leonard, I think what this is exposed, everybody wanted to call Kawhi Leonard a leader. They wanted to say Kawhi's a leader. I'm like, this is exposed that he's not a leader. At the end of the day, even when he was on Toronto, he was not the leader there. You know, at the end of the day, Kawhi Leonard is a hitman for hire, and that's what he's shown us to be. You know, he's a hitman, a very well hitman, a very good hitman. You know, you put him in a good situation, he'll get the kills, but he's not a leader. And right now over there going against Utah, Donovan Mitchell. I mean, Donovan Mitchell. What? I mean, we don't listen. They got a lot of players over there in Utah. You know, I mean, everybody talks about guys like Philly when it comes to the process. Let's look at some of the players on Utah. They got Jordan Clarkson over there. I've always been a fan of Jordan Clarkson. You know what I'm saying? They got Michael Conley, who's still hurt. He's kind of like bouncing. When he gets back, Michael Conley is one of the most underrated point guards in the NBA now.
He just got hurt, right? He just didn't play the last 2.
Yeah. He just recently got hurt.
You got Rudy Gobert out here grabbing 20 rebounds. Like, what y'all gonna do? Like, what's gonna happen? Like, 20 rebounds. Like, he's like, all right, I'm gonna score some little here, a little there. But if you can't even get your own rebounds offensively, because he's tackling everything, what you gonna do?
Utah has a very deceptive game plan.
Ron James done set Utah Jazz on fire. Okay.
Yes.
He was like, nobody picks them in NBA 2K. So I guess they're gonna be on the cover of NBA 2K 2022 because he done set that team on some type of fire.
Utah has a very deceptive lineup. I mean, Rudy Gobert is going to grab that. Do you realize their power forward is Royce O'Neal?
Yep.
Royce O'Neal is 6'4". So they have a very small lineup, except for when it comes. Well, it's not even because they have 6'8" forwards and stuff that, you know, and even Royce O'Neal gets like 7 rebounds a game. Like he's still doing his numbers, you know. But they have a lot of players that can move the ball offensively, and they can buy into that defensive set. Like they work. When you find a team that works well together, and they all trust in Donovan Mitchell. They give Donovan Mitchell the reins to go. You know, and he got players
He's
around.
shooting 50% from the 3-point line.
He's a bona fide star. He's a bona fide star.
I mean, he came in blaring against the Clippers, like, not today. I'm dropping 45. And most of them is going to be threes, just so you know.
You know, the one thing that's depressing, it makes me think about, and I hate to bring the Knicks into this, but you look at small market teams, how they're able to develop players into being all-stars. And you look at how big market teams like the Knicks have the biggest problem doing that. You know, they got other players like Mikal, they got Derek Favors over there, you know. They got a couple of players over there. They got Bogdanovic. They got role players and they got young players that can build in. And with that, you know, it all fits well for Utah at the end of the day. I don't think Clippers have a chance. Number one, Clippers might win 2 games at best. I give them 6 at best.
That's giving them. That's you must be in a real giving spirit, because if they don't win this next game, I mean, now they
Kawhi's going to turn up. Kawhi's going to get angry.
Yeah.
He's going to turn up for a game.
Lou ripped into them. Like, what are y'all doing? Like, what's happening? Y'all dropped the ball literally down the stretch. So he done ripped into them. So yeah, I can see Kawhi coming out on fire, and Paul George, you know, maybe coming out with a little, I wouldn't say fire, but he might have a flame. It's gonna be a flame. Can't say it's gonna be a fire. But just to kind of go back a little bit to your big market teams versus small market, it's about willing to put out the money, right? You have these teams that aren't willing to invest because they've invested so much before in the past. They don't want to lose money. And then you have small market teams like, what do we have to lose? We don't have nothing to lose. We have to base everything off development. We got to spend the money to get the money. So you have these big market teams that are working harder, but not, and you have the small market teams that are working smarter. It's like, you know, they may not offer the top dollar, but they're going to offer you the value of being a part of that franchise.
That's no excuse for the Clippers. Phoenix is like the new shiny car that you know. Phoenix is like the Tesla, right? You know, it has all the tools and everything you want right now, and it, like, you know, it's good for the economy. It's good for right now. Phoenix has so many players over there. And we only talk about Donovan Mitchell, but I mean, they've been getting top draft picks like the last 3-4 years, like consistent, strong, like that they've held on.
They did a 180. They was in the bottom, and now they, you know, at the top too.
Yeah, I mean, they got DeAndre Ayton. You know what I'm saying? They got Langston Galloway over there. I was always a fan of Langston Galloway. So they got a couple of veterans. And they got Mikal Bridges. I've always loved Mikal Bridges. I was always a Mikal Bridges fan. He didn't really do what I thought he was going to do in the NBA, but I remember him on draft day. And I was just like, yeah, that guy's going to be a problem. But he's a steady player though. You know, a lot of players you think is going to be something more, and then they kind of just develop into their role, and that's cool. You know, as long as they can play their role. You know, and he's doing that, and a lot of players over there doing that. Devin Booker, I just want him to leave Phoenix. I want them to lose so he can leave Phoenix and come to the Knicks. I'll be happy.
I was like, that's why I was like, where you want him to go? Yeah, they got what's his name? I call him Raccoon, and I probably shouldn't, but Payne.
Oh, Cameron Payne.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy. I like Cameron Payne. He's actually a little stud. He's coming along too. Another young player.
Yeah, he got heart though, and that's the one thing that I feel like is gonna add to Chris Paul's leadership, is that he got heart. Like he definitely, you could definitely see like he don't stop. Like we down 20, I don't care. I'm going for it.
Yeah.
Full speed ahead. And he's the one that's gonna pick up the team.
So right now, Colleen, in the East right now, because we're still in the semifinals. So you're saying it's gonna be so who you choosing right now? Put it on the line. Brooklyn, Milwaukee.
Right now, I have to go with Brooklyn. Like I have to go with Brooklyn, just based on the Bucks' inconsistency. I gotta go with Brooklyn.
Philly, Atlanta.
I'm gonna go with Atlanta. I think Atlanta could pull it out. I think Atlanta can pull it out.
I respect that.
I think Embiid is taking a chance, and he got a long way to go. It's not over,
I respect that. I'm gonna say this. I respect that, and I'm gonna respectfully disagree for two reasons. One, because it gives us something to talk about, and two, I just feel at the end of the day, Philly has enough to still squeak past Atlanta. I feel that still the ability they have to be bigger than Atlanta is going to allow them to still beat Atlanta. And Brooklyn and Milwaukee, I'm going with Brooklyn because I just don't have faith in Milwaukee anymore. At least not with that lineup. And I like Drew Holiday and I like Middleton. I just don't. I feel until they get Giannis another star, like even if it was like a guy like Kyrie in Milwaukee, I could see that them making to a finals. But he doesn't have that guy that when Giannis breaks down, they need someone to step in. They don't have that, so that's why they're not going to make it. They're not going to make it fun.
I agree. The Bucks is too inconsistent. Now, I mean, to go back to your respectfully disagreeing with my Hawks, I mean, listen, you again, you walking on a slippery slope with Philly, and the only reason why you pulled out these two games is because Embiid said, listen, it ain't broke, so I'm gonna be out here playing. That's a very slippery slope. And if the Hawks can capitalize on his weakness, I don't know. I don't know. I'm rooting for an upset. I can't.
I know you want it. I see it in your eyes. You want that upset. You want it. You want that feeling. You want to be sitting there in front of the TV going crazy. I know you want that. It's
a nice feeling.
It's
all right.
Philly's going to hold fast. The fact alone that Philly is in that position where they're still able to fight on injuries and be up 2-1 is just it just redefines the fact that you need big men in the playoffs who can be productive. And Atlanta has a lot of great tools, but they have no size. Their size comparison is hurting, and that's gonna kill them in the long run. Isn't Ibaka out? Ibaka's out.
Yeah.
Ibaka's out. Hold up. Ibaka's out for the rest of the season. Yes. Ibaka is gone. So that was their best big man. I mean, they still got Capella.
If they win, if they can win this game in Atlanta, this next game, I'm a stick with my underdogs in this one.
Oh, and I'm sorry, Ibaka's on the Clippers. But yeah, they got Capella over there. Capella, Atlanta ain't got it. Atlanta ain't got no height. They got no big men. They don't have it. They don't have nothing that's going to show down Embiid, Howard, and them boys that all want to get big in the paint. I don't see it. Ben Simmons, who's going to stop him driving? They have no long length that's going to say, I mean, the best they got is Capella, and I think Ben Simmons is bigger than Capella. So, I mean, what do we like? I don't see it. I don't see it.
I mean, listen, they're a very scrappy team. It's been done before, and I think that they could do it. I think that Embiid coming back kind of took the heart out of them. a little bit. And I think that's what they need. They need to capitalize on the fact that he's playing big, but he's still hurt. Like, you gotta, play to his weaknesses, and you gotta continue to do what you've been doing. Like, you was driving them knocking them buckets when you was playing New York. Why Philly only, a few hours away? Why are you acting like you, like, listen, go to work. Now, see, when we talking about the Joker, because I'm getting a little upset with these MVPs, because this is 2 years in a row that people got MVPs, and it don't look like they making it to the championship round.
But he deserved it.
Okay.
He's a center, basically averaging a double-double, leading his offense, and on top of being 7 feet, he didn't miss one game the whole season.
So where are you at now, is my question.
I mean, listen, the MVP is different than the playoffs. I mean, for the MVP, he deserved that. He deserved that.
And I get it. But that is that is a prestigious title, right? Because you worked your, behind off all season to deserve that. When does that give you the right to not show up when it counts the most, is my thing.
I think he's being overwhelmed, man. Look, we've gotten too accustomed to the Michael Jordan eras, the Kobe Bryant eras, where the MVP also got the finals MVP as well. The LeBron James periods, where, we've got too accustomed to that. That's not how it goes on a natural basis. Like, listen, just because you got that MVP don't mean that you had the team that, that MVP is an individual award, as opposed to your team being built to win a championship.
But again, I'm not talking about the team. I ain't mention the team. I ain't say the whole team in general. I'm just talking about one in particular person. If you, with the Michael Jordan era, with the Kobe Bryant era, you knew that they was going to get the MVP because you knew that they was going to show up when it counted. Now, if they got the MVP that year and by some, magic wand, they didn't make it into the championship, cool, understandable. But you showed up. My whole thing is show up. Now, if you don't make it, that's cool. At least you can say I showed up. He, to me, has disappeared. Like, where are you at? That's all I'm saying. You may not have, then we can turn around and say, you know what, Jamal Murray was out. You ain't have, the proper team around you. One man can't do it by himself. But if you the one man with the title that's not even showing up, what do you think your other teammates is going to do?
So would you reflect those same comments on a player like Damian Lillard?
I would too.
Had a first round exit.
I would too.
Damian Lillard left it all out on the court, man. What do you want that man to do? Like, I would say the same for the Joker. Like, listen, he when you got a team that's game planning you pretty well, that makes a difference over there. Phoenix is doing a good job of keeping him out of the fray. They're moving things around. They're, like I said, it's just one man. It's different if he had Jamal Murray with him. Now all of a sudden you got an ambiance going, a system where, listen, they can't put all that focus on the Joker. Now they got to put focus on Jamal Murray, which is going to free up, the Joker to kind of move how he wants to move. He can kind of get back into his rhythm again. Their whole game plan is to shut him down for what he's doing. I mean, Chris Paul is basically a player coach out there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So even when he's not playing, he's still instructing. And they got a good coaching squad. Phoenix has got a pretty strong team. I almost want to say I want them to go, but I'm just such a fan of Utah right now. It's hard, man. This is hard. We gotta let another week go by. Things lay out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not for nothing. Outside of Crowder, because I'm not a huge fan, but anyway, I want Phoenix to go. I want Phoenix to take it. I do feel bad that Utah probably was stuck in gear in the number one spot, that they may not make it all the way through. But I kind of want Phoenix to. I'm a Chris Paul fan, and I kind of want him to be able to finally celebrate all his hard work that he's put into this NBA franchise on so many different teams, and still execute with the same passion and the same energy.
This is going to make me sound like a hater.
What?
Chris Paul, I said, this is going to make me sound like a hater. Chris Paul could never win a championship, and I'm okay with that. I don't think that's a poor reflection on him. I don't think it takes away from him. But he can never win it. Not that I don't want him to win one, but he can never win one, and I'll be fine with that. I'll just be like, oh, he's still Chris Paul.
Yeah, you know why? Because I feel like Chris Paul is like my 2021 Allen Iverson. Like, I need you to win a championship before you exit. Please, just one. Just go out with a ring, because I need it. Like, I need you. All the blood, sweat, and tears you done put out here. And again, he's one of those point guards that hasn't dwindled. Like, he still gives you that same leadership, that same energy, that same execute. Yep, so I mean, I understand that you might be okay with it, but if the Lakers was playing, I'd be okay with it too. But since they're out and I'm forced to pick,
so that's your top dog. That's who you're root. That's who you put your eggs in the basket for, huh?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna keep one egg out just in case to see, but
listen, I
definitely think it's gonna go toe to toe.
You know what it is with Phoenix, man? I like Phoenix, right? But everybody else likes Phoenix now too. So it's just like, I can't do it. It's like, when you're in school and you see the bad girl that everyone was just in love with, like, I no longer liked her anymore. It was just like,